Because of the cyclist. Because of the yellow truck. Because the traffic situation is confusing. How can you reduce the noise generated by your motor vehicle? By using tires that have a low rolling noise. By driving at a low engine speed. By removing the air filter insert. The green truck performs a turn. The tractor moves onto the road. The driver of the red vehicle fails to see me. The driver of the red vehicle fails to see me. What I brake firmly. I gently take my foot off the accelerator. I keep the steering wheel as straight as possible. What should you know about using the rear view mirror? Rear view mirrors must be adjusted to the particular driver. I am unable to see vehicles and pedestrians in the blind spot. The interior mirror has no blind spot to the right side. What could make this situation become hazardous? Oncoming traffic. The tractor. The motorcyclist. What danger is indicated to you by this traffic sign? Side wind. The risk that my vehicle may be shifted sideways. Air traffic. What can help save fuel and reduce pollution? Using public transport, a bicycle or walking, wherever possible. Paying attention to the fuel consumption of a motor vehicle when buying it. Contributing to a constant flow of traffic by thinking ahead and driving correspondingly. The driver of the blue vehicle fails to see me. The tractor moves onto the road. The white truck performs a turn. You are traveling at 50 kilometers per hour and have a reaction time of 1 second. What is the reaction distance according to the rule of thumb? While driving, How can you safely check whether the road is icy? By carefully applying the brakes at very low speed. By rapid acceleration. By jerking the steering wheel to the left and right. At which time of the day do you have to reckon with increased wild animals crossing? Why is it beneficial to use low-viscosity engine oil? Because these oils can be disposed of as household waste, reduce fuel consumption, generate less friction in the engine. What must you anticipate in this situation? The cyclist will pull out to the left. The cyclist will dismount to allow me to pass. Oncoming traffic. Where does aquaplaning sliding on wet roads occur particularly often? At level crossings. In dips in the roadway. Where there are grooves in the roadway. You are traveling at 40 kilometers per hour. The braking distance for evasive braking is approximately 8 meters. How long is the braking distance at 50 kilometers per hour given otherwise the same conditions? Air resistance affects the fuel consumption of a vehicle. What affects air resistance the most? The profile depth of the tires. The number of passengers. The speed traveled. You are traveling at 100 km per hour and have a reaction time of 1 second. What is the reaction distance according to the rule of thumb? Because the direction of the road ahead demands it. Because a speed limit is visible. Because the other vehicle might continue moving. You increase your speed from 50 km per hour to 100 km per hour. How is the braking distance changed according to the rule of thumb? It is halved from 50 meters to 25 meters. It is quadrupled from 25 meters to 100 m. It is doubled from 15 meters to 30 meters. For which purposes is a horn allowed to be used outside built-up areas? As an overtaking signal. As a warning signal. As a calling signal. What makes driving in a stream of vehicles easier? Keeping your hazard warning lights switched on when driving. Watching the queue through the windows of the vehicles traveling in front. Driving in a slightly staggered position in your own lane. What can be the effect of aquaplaning? Increased tire static friction. Reduced vehicle braking capability. Reduced ability to steer the vehicle. What dangers can arise if this traffic sign is ignored? The vehicle could go into a skid and endanger oncoming traffic. The load could be damaged. The vehicle could suffer a broken axle or spring fracture. For oncoming traffic. For the pedestrian. For the motorbike. yellow car, green vehicle, light blue car. The tractor. Oncoming traffic. The red car. What should you consider after starting your vehicle? Drive off as promptly as possible. Drive at low engine speeds. If possible, allow the engine of the stationary vehicle to warm up. You are driving a motor vehicle with a manual gearbox. How can you reduce the fuel consumption of your vehicle? By switching early up to the next gear. By driving at a high engine speed. By employing an anticipatory driving style to avoid frequent changes of speed. You double the speed at which you are traveling. How does this affect the braking distance? You are driving a motor vehicle with a manual gearbox on a level carriageway. How should you change gears so as to drive in a particularly environmentally conscious and economical way? Changing down again as late as possible. Drive until the upper engine speed range is reached in one gear before changing up. Changing up gears as early as possible. When driving outside of a built-up area, what minimum safety distance should you maintain between you and the vehicle ahead? 1/5 of the speedometer reading in meters. 1/3 of the speedometer reading in meters. 1/2 of the speedometer reading in meters. You are driving on a narrow road. About 20 meters ahead of you, a child suddenly runs onto the roadway. When is a collision unavoidable despite emergency braking? 20 kilometers per hour. 30 kilometers per hour. 50 kilometers per hour. You are traveling at 100 kilometers per hour and brake normally. What is the braking distance according to the rule of thumb? Pedestrians on the carriageway. A reduced amount of side clearance from oncoming traffic. That you may be dazzled by the low-lying sun. What should you anticipate in this situation? Slow-moving vehicle on my side of the road. Fast oncoming traffic cutting the corner. Wild animals crossing the road. What should you anticipate in this situation? Fast oncoming traffic cutting the corner. You are driving in urban traffic on a dry roadway in a stream of traffic traveling at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. What is the minimum safe distance you must keep from the vehicle in front? 5 meters or approximately 1 car length. 15 meters or approximately 3 car lengths. 10 meters or approximately 2 car lengths. What must you watch out for when you drive into an underground car park? My eyes need to adjust to the change in lighting conditions. My tires could get damaged by narrow entrances and exits. Pedestrians frequently walk on vehicle lanes. Green car. Red vehicle. Yellow car. Yellow car. Brake and not cross the center of the road. The oncoming car will now pull out and cross the center of the road. Overtake without crossing the center of the road.